Good evening. I'm Vivian Williams. The kindergarten room was brightly decorated with an array of creative playthings, as well as many learning centers. Because of the location of that room in the building, I loved to open the blinds and let the natural sunlight shine through the window. The tables were uniformly arranged in the formation conducive to the teaching style most appropriate for this active and exciting age group. It was kindergarten. There were centers meticulously arranged all around the room. And we had things like learning centers with wonderful CD players and headphones. The children would soon have their turn to go to this center and pick up a pair of headphones and sit down with an audiobook and read along. Then there was a reading center. It was filled with library books, some of the most famous children's books in the country, such as Dr. Seuss, The Cat in the Hat, One Fish, Two Fish, Hop on Pop, and Green Eggs and Ham. There was the Berenstain Bears collection, just to name a few. There was a housekeeping center where there was a play stove and microwave, a refrigerator and play sink. There was play food, complete with eating utensils, pots, and pans. There were even clothes for dress up and several dolls to use as family members. The Lego table was filled with thousands of Lego pieces to form hundreds of movable, creative items. My little student, a 5-year-old girl, walked from the bus area down the sidewalk leading to her class. I could see her coming as I watched through the window. As she approached, she walked in bright-eyed in anticipation of going to her desk to do her seat work and then getting a chance to go to the many classroom centers. I noticed that she was walking on the backs of a pair of tennis shoes that were at least 2 sizes too small. My dear little student could only fit her toes and the ball of her feet into these shoes. When I asked her where her shoes were and why she was walking on the backs of shoes that were clearly not hers, she answered, "I know, these are not my shoes. They're my baby sister's shoes. But I don't have any shoes of my own. And Mama told me to just wear these shoes and go to school." I left my assistant teacher in charge of the few children that had arrived on the bus that day and took this little girl to a neighborhood store and bought her a package of new socks and a pair of shoes that fit, which she wore every day for most of that school year. Everyone needs to see child poverty as their problem too. Here are 4 ways that I think you can get involved. Number 1, you can find a child, could be a neighbor's child, a child at a local school, and meet their need. Number 2, you can sign up to volunteer your time at an organization that provides clothing, nutritious meals, etc. for children in poverty. Number 3, you can give to a mission group in your church, your parish, or somewhere in the community. Number 4, you can sponsor a child in your neighborhood or take a wrapped toy or bag of food to a local fire station or precinct to be donated to a local family of children in poverty. Remember, 16.1 million children in the United States are living in poverty. They're living in families whose incomes are well below the poverty line, as set forth by the Department of Health and Human Services. Remember, 46.7 children living in female-headed homes are 4 times more likely to live in poverty than children from married couple families. Poverty is the single greatest threat to children's well-being next to abuse and neglect. Remember, large percentages of our country's children have day-to-day lives that have been impacted by poverty. Can you imagine what it feels like to see this form of poverty through a child's eyes, up close and personal? You and I need to make a conscious effort to stamp out child poverty in the United States, one child at a time. As long as we sit back and wait, another child suffers from poverty in the wealthiest country in the world. I will give you information about a wonderful organization that I found. I will tell you how you can donate. I will show you some ways that I have found to get involved and contribute. There is an organization that is named Ounce of Prevention. They stand upon the premise that the nurturing children receive through the earliest relationships they form profoundly shapes the people that they will become. Their approach to helping children in poverty in the United States is focused on two key elements. One, they do research to find out why people are impoverished. And two, they find passionate people to nurture the potential in every child. They believe, as I do, that investing in young children today would help us build a future with passionate community leaders, an eager young workforce, and a more prosperous society. This directly impacts you and I and the quality of life in our community. Remember, your gift of any financial resources or time to a child in poverty causes a ripple effect. Remember this, and I close with this. Your contribution is valuable. And because of people like you who are willing to help, we can make sure that little boys and little girls go to school with a full stomach and adequate clothes and school supplies, no matter what their family's socioeconomic status is. Thank you for listening.